guys, what's going on? Mr. Soup C here, back again for another episode recap for Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 2. Alright, now things are getting kind of good. So, we open to the darkness himself, the prince of all evil, the master of all darkness, Aku. And we finally get our first taste of the new Aku. Because before, as I talked about last time, this Aku is voiced by a different voice actor. The original voice actor of the original Samurai Jack, Mr. Mako himself, has passed away. God rest his soul. So we have a new voice actor, and to me, it's hard to tell. It was very comical, kind of how Aku and how he does his normal routine, and it's kind of gotten a little passé in the beginning. He wakes up, he greets his followers, he talks to his robot guys, and actually it's kind of funny, he actually has a therapy session with himself. It's kind of...
Tell me what's been bothering you?
And he talks about how, and we get this introduction that Aku has destroyed all the time portals. And due to the fact that Aku, back in the past, sent Jack forward through time, he doesn't age. And that's an effect of sending him through time. And so Aku is realizing now that I thought if I destroyed all of the time portals, he just would die. He doesn't say that, but he's like, I thought he would just die and I wouldn't have to worry about him anymore. But he doesn't. He is somehow not able to age, except grow that ridiculous beard.
Yes, it seems that the initial time travel has affected the aging process.
And so then we're transitioned to Jack, still riding along, and all of a sudden he hears something. He's still riding, a cool Mad Max style, and all of a sudden this huge, gigantic Beetleborg, or Beetlebot, comes roaming out of the forest, and it's going to attack Jack. And Jack, because he's been at this now for 50 years, he just, one shot, boom, done. And he's about to pack up and move on his way when out of nowhere, he is attacked. He is attacked by none other than the Aku sisters. Now, the Aku sisters were set on a mission to destroy and kill Samurai Jack because that's the only thing they've been bred to do, is to kill Jack. And he's kind of taken off guard, and he tries his normal tactics because in his mind is probably just another robotic assassin sent by Aku to kill Jack. And he's knocked on his feet. He tries all these different kind of tactics. He uses guns. He uses his cool new staff. Nothing works. And he is beaten senseless. So much that he has to take refuge inside the broken gigantic Beetleborg, and it's starting to rain. And he can't figure out who is attacking him. And it's at this moment where he's crouched and he's vulnerable that we get this transition, or this kind of, we get to see like the inner workings of Jack's mind, because 50 years trapped in the future, fighting his way, trying to get back home, he starts talking to himself. And we get to see the original Samurai Jack, kind of a little twisted. He talks to older Jack and he's like, how long can you keep this up? They're gonna find you. And Jack's like, I'll figure out a way, I always have. And there's this inner turmoil that Jack is having, and so much that this inner Jack is like, why don't you just give up? And as a 25-year-old, it's almost given that Jack's inner self is telling him to commit suicide.
It's time to end it, don't you think?
Never. They are just machines. I'll find a way. I always have.
When you have the sword, but now it's gone. There's no hope.
Now, going back to the original show, that was never even heard of or even talked about. You know, you're trapped, you got nothing to do except trying to get home, and Jack his inner self is saying, why don't you commit suicide, dude? Your family is waiting for you. All you gotta do is die. And Jack doesn't want to hear it. And in one brief, fleeting moment, he runs, and it's raining. And he looks back, and he's able to see his pursuers, the Aku sisters. And they're in uniform, and they're in synchronization, and they're coming for Jack. And Jack goes into the in this ruined temple. And he tries to hide from the Aku sisters. And the Aku sisters are masters of stealth, combat, and finding and killing Jack. And it's through this awesome sequence where he's trying to hide and use his tactics, and nothing seems to be working. And the Aku sisters corner him in kind of like this mausoleum kind of, where all these graves in front of this one silhouette of this former emperor. He's kind of sitting like yours truly. And there's this great ending shot where the Aku sisters find him, and he's in this coffin. And there's nothing but a tiny firefly keeping light on Jack. And you can see the fear in his eyes. Nothing but a tiny firefly keeping light on Jack. And you can see the fear in his eyes. And normally, Jack is able to overcome anything, as 4 seasons have shown you. Monsters, robots, bounty hunters. Nothing gets Jack in the end. But this, you can see that Jack he's cornered. He's out of options. He's out of weapons. He's got nothing at his disposal. No sword, nothing. And in one fleeting motion, he jumps out of the coffin and he attacks the Aku sisters, and he just books it because he's getting out of there. He's trying to escape. And he eventually reaches up with one of the Aku sisters, and because this has a knife, and he tries to stab Jack, and Jack turns it around and stabs this girl, and knocking her mask off. And Jack realizes, and this was a very interesting and mind-blowing, Jack has finally killed a human being. I'm going to let you take a minute for that. Because in 4 seasons, Jack has never, ever killed anything but robots. And he's finally killed a human being. And as a kid growing up on the show, that's a pretty monumental thing. But on the flip side, the knife actually stabbed Jack, and he's bleeding. And we also get our first scene of blood in Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack never had blood back on Cartoon Network. You had, oil, acid, all kinds of different things coming out of these robot assassins, but never blood. And Jack is now mortally wounded, and he's limping out of this temple, and he altogether just falls into the river, and we see him floating down, bleeding. And that's the end of episode 2. From episode 1, where he's all Mad Max style, to episode 2, where he's now vulnerable. I said it before, I'm in it even more now, because I can't wait to see what happens next. The Aku sisters are going to be on his tail. Jack is mortally wounded. And also, I forgot to mention one other thing. There's this great analogy between the 2 different scenes, because we also transition this lone white wolf. As he is bloodied and battered, and I think it's dead. Much like Jack, who falls into a river, he's bleeding out. I've never seen Jack this vulnerable. Normally, Jack is able to overcome any obstacle, even fight his inner demons, and overcome and able to keep on this majestic and triumphant quest to return home. Jack is now at the bare bottoms. No sword, no hope, and floating down a river in his own blood. If that doesn't give you chills, there's something wrong with you. So leave a comment below. Tell me, what did you think of episode 2, season 5 of Samurai Jack? This is Mr. Soup C telling you to like, comment, and subscribe for all your Soup Studio needs. This is Mr. Soup C saying, stay tuned. I am, and so should you.
On the next episode of Samurai Jack.
Samurai blood. Follow the river.
I will give you a new choice. Leave here now and live, or stay and face your destiny.
Our destiny is your death!
Very well.
Samurai Jack, next Saturday at 11 p.m.
Show yourself, samurai, so you can die!